Good Monday morning. I'm here with a little check-in on my father-in-law. I spent most of the weekend at the hospital with him, and actually I just arrived. I'm going to go check on him again. He's not doing great. Like I said in the last videos, he is terminal, and he stopped drinking, I think. He stopped drinking and eating, I think it was Thursday. They're giving him morphine. They're making him comfortable. They're doing their best they can, so I'm just going to make sure that he's not alone. But while I was here, actually yesterday, I was going through the newspaper from Saturday, and it was a really interesting article about road trips. I don't know if any of you are planning to go on a road trip anytime soon, but let me tell you, there's not a whole lot of good stuff to be eaten on the road. I was just looking at the main chains like McDonald's and A&W and things like Subway and all these places like Tim Hortons, where here in Canada anyway, when we go on the road trip, especially if you're going to Ontario, we have a tendency to stop at those places along the way. And it's funny because even if you try to eat well, like say you go to McDonald's and you decide you're going to have like a Caesar salad instead, did you know that you're probably better off having the freaking Big Mac? Because there's so much, I'm reading here, and there's so much fat and sugar and salt. I mean, salt, crazy salt in a Caesar salad, like 830 milligrams of salt. 14 grams of sugar, and of course it all depends if you use the dressing or not, but what's the point in having a Caesar salad if you don't have the Caesar salad dressing, right? So I know for me, what I do is when I go, say, to Ontario with my mom, she loves to stop at Denny's. Like, personally, I would just go straight through and just drink coffee and water, but anyway, I want to make her happy, so we'll stop at Denny's. So when we stop at Denny's, I try to get the best thing I can. I'll get like a vegetable omelet with like packed with vegetables and only 2 eggs, and I'll have coffee. So like no toast, no beans, because they're full of sugar too, and maple syrup and all that stuff. And I'll skip the potatoes, and I'll just have like the vegetables and the protein, and like not the pork, like your bacon, your sausages, and your bologna and all that crap. Like it's not like the organic stuff you can get at home, right? So I'm super careful about that. Not to be anal, because it's nice to go on a road trip and eat that crap, especially if you're not doing it too often. But you take like a trucker, right? This guy is on the road for like 12 hours a day. He's sitting all the time, and he's stopping at these fast food places, and a lot of them are smoking too. And I mean, it's no wonder they end up on the operating table like when they're 64 years old. So that's all fine and dandy. So like you're going on a road trip, say, and you're going with yourself or just by yourself or with your family. Like you don't have to stop at these places. You can pack your own stuff. Just because it's, say, breakfast, it doesn't mean you can't have like vegetables and things. You can make stuff at home and just pack it with you. I mean, I do it all the time. Like if I'm gonna like let myself go a little bit and have wraps just for that trip, well, I'll pack some wraps ahead of time. I'll put some organic cold cuts if I have to. I'll put some organic chicken or something in them. Pack it with vegetables, wrap it up, and bring some mayonnaise or some kind of organic mayonnaise on the side. Throw in things like carrot sticks and fruit and water bottles. And we actually have a cooler if we're doing a trip like that we plug into the cigarette thing in the car, so we don't have to worry about ice packs and things like that. And on top of that, a cooler like that, if you're staying in a hotel that doesn't have a fridge, you can just plug that thing into the wall and you've got yourself a fridge. And I know when I'm traveling, I always make sure that wherever I'm staying, I know what the grocery stores that are around, I know what the restaurants are, I know what's available. And it's something like that's one of those things that when you're traveling and if you want to stick with your health goals, you really have to plan in advance. Like if you're staying in an Airbnb, is it close to Whole Foods? Is it close to a grocery store? Is it close to a local market where you can go buy organic stuff? And like I always pack a cutting board and a knife. I'll bring like smoothie powders. So like in the morning, if everyone else wants to have like, they want to chow down somewhere, well, maybe I'll be careful what I eat with them. But a lot of times I'll just say, you know what, you go and do that. And I'm just going to have a little shake in my room. I've got a little protein powder, maybe some water, maybe some unsweetened almond milk. Because you know what? Yeah, it's fun to eat that crap. But after it's done, a lot of times you don't feel so well. And especially if you're the driver, it's like, oh my goodness, it's really sucky to be driving around with a sore stomach or when you're tired, right? So yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do on the road. It actually makes it more fun. My husband and I went a couple years ago to the Bruce Peninsula, and we stocked up on a bunch of cut vegetables we'd prepared in our hotel room the night before we were heading out on the road. And we stopped in some pretty spectacular places for picnics that we would never have seen otherwise. Once we stopped and we laid out our stuff and we put our wraps together on a picnic table, and there were falls right there. I mean, normally we would have stopped at like an A&W or McDonald's or something like that. So you can get really creative with this. Anywho, so I'm going to leave you on that. I hope you have a wonderful day. I've got to get going because my husband's waiting for me in my father-in-law's room, and I will keep you posted. Thank you for your prayers. I appreciate your thoughts that, you know, that you're with us and our family at this really difficult time. And yeah, so I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye. It won't turn off. Ah! Cancel. Finish.